So I hope everyone's enjoying the meal. Did anyone notice that there was no free will offering today? By design. And really that we can finally do these kinds of things because of the continued generosity that all of you have contributed at St. Patrick. So we're very grateful for that. Okay, you all know about our strategic plan, right? Vision 2020. We talked about it probably way too much. But it's important. And that's really why we're here, to launch some new and exciting ways for us to encounter Christ. And it's right in line with our vision and our mission. Have you guys seen the bumper sticker that said God doesn't make junk? Or have you ever seen a cloud formation that's just beautiful with the sun beaming through? These are opportunities for us to encounter Christ. And we usually do one of two things, or at least I do. We either dismiss it and move on, or we think of it as an encounter with God and we reflect on it. Raise your hand if you've ever had some type of encounter with Christ over some ordinary life event. Anyone? Everyone? Hopefully? And I think that's, what kind of emotions do we have when we encounter Christ through those simple things? I think we feel inspired, or we become reflective or grateful maybe. Some of us go as far as to post it on social media, right? Anybody do that? I never have. I think the reason we have these kinds of emotions is because we realize that God is present at that given moment. At that special little moment when we encounter Him over something simple, and then we're able to feel something like inspiration or reflectivity or something like that. And I think it's clear throughout Scriptures that God wants us to encounter Him, to seek Him, to find Him. One of my favorites is found in Proverbs 8, where it says, "For he who finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord." I really like that because if we encounter God, we find life. And I don't think they're talking about ordinary life. I think they're talking about joy and love and compassion and mercy, the good life. And then they say, you'll obtain favor from the Lord. And that's really what we all want. We want that favor from God. So when we encounter God through ordinary events, He smiles upon us. That's how I like to look at it. This is now our 5th encounter that we've done here at St. Patrick. Most of them included some special speaker from out of town or something like that. And kind of like a parish mission. The whole purpose of these events and the reason that we're here today is really to help you and help us to encounter Christ outside of Mass. That's what we really want to do. And then obtain that favor from the Lord. So twice a year we'll be holding these encounter events. We'll do it once in the spring and once in the fall, like this time of year. So let's get started. Let's start learning how to encounter God through everyday, normal experiences with people. If we really get good at this, just like we encounter God through nature or through a song or through something we read, if we really pay attention, we can encounter God through normal, everyday conversations with others. I think even sometimes a bad interaction, we can still encounter God. So, how do you encounter Christ when some knucklehead takes your parking spot at Think Farm? That actually happened a few weeks back to me. And my immediate reaction, probably like you guys, was to something not very Christian, right? But in that given moment, I paused just for a moment, something I don't normally do, and was able to think something like, he must be in a bigger hurry than not this. So, and I let it go. Again, not something I'm very good at. So today, we have 3 new initiatives that we think are going to help every one of you to encounter Christ more often through others. These 3 initiatives are really going to have a significant impact on your life, on your faith journey, if you take some action. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that action. Our job is to She recently accepted a position as pastoral care and outreach coordinator, which I think is the perfect role for her compassion, personality, and her extensive training. Please welcome Carrie Rooney.
Good morning, and thank you, Dan. Are you enjoying your breakfast? Didn't they do a good job? Thank you, team. Outreach. You hear the word, it means something different to each and every one of us, dependent on the experiences that you might have had with other people. To some, it might be that person you see standing on a street corner and you giving them some help. It might be something you hear about or see in the bulletin about Help for You. It could be someone who is visiting people in the hospital. It could be someone who is visiting people who are homebound and bringing the Eucharist. It could be just someone going to someone else's home, the spot crew, and helping them with something they need help with. And to still others, it's that person that walks through our door and says, "My family isn't hungry. Can you help us?" Yes, yes, absolutely. That's why we're here. That's what outreach means. So right now, we'd like to share a video with you of a young man that was impacted by that feeling.
Hi, my name is Dylan. I heard about St. Patrick's Church from a friend who received some help from your community last year. She encouraged me to call Dan, but I was very uncomfortable going to church for help. I'm not very religious and was nervous that I was going to be preached to, but that's not what happened. A few months ago I was released from prison. As a felon, it's very difficult to find a landlord and an employer who would give me a chance. But I was able to find a job and get an apartment in Anoka. I have no family in the area, so I rely heavily on my 12-step meetings, my sponsor, and a counselor for support. Things were going pretty well for several months until I lost my job as a landscaper. I began to apply for some other positions and had an interview lined up as a welder. In the meantime, I needed some financial help with rent, or I was going to get evicted. St. Patrick was able to help with a small amount, and then I was hired as a welder, and my first paycheck took care of the rest. I've never been treated the way I was here at St. Pat's. It wasn't just the money, but I walked out of here feeling like these people really wanted me to be successful. This all happened right before Country Fest, and I asked Dan if I could help in any way. He invited me to help with setup and takedown, and I met several guys who were also very supportive. I really felt valued and accepted here at St. Patrick, and I will forever be grateful. This whole journey has taught me humility.
Dylan's story isn't unusual at all. There are so many people right in our backyard who are trying to rebuild their lives. Some it's because of a dependency that they have. Some they lost their job, just as Dylan did. So many things happen. We all know how that is. But St. Pat's has served hundreds of people in so many different ways. And we're able to do it because of you and because of the strength of our community. People are generous, they're helpful, and always willing to step up and do what needs to be done. Last year, we received a call from one of our parishioners who was trying to help a young woman who had become pregnant. She decided to keep the baby, and she had no support, none. Somewhat estranged from her family. and she needed help. Here's Mary's story.
My name is Mary Hines. I've been a member at St. Patrick's for 15 years. My daughter Molly had a good friend named Marie. Marie grew up in the Catholic Church, loved her faith, but at age 22 she found out that she was pregnant. Marie's parents, as devout Catholics, were shocked and frankly upset and ashamed. Marie turned to my daughter Molly in confidence, and since she decided to keep the baby, she needed support. Molly and I wanted to hold a baby shower for Marie, but we were also concerned for her parents. We didn't want to interfere or offend them, but at the same time, we wanted to love and support Marie. Where would we turn? Who could help us with the necessary supplies that Marie would need for this baby? Last January, I called St. Patrick, and they immediately wanted to support our efforts, and they felt this was so aligned with Life Matters, Pregnancy Resource Center, and our overall outreach goals. They found someone to coordinate the efforts, and with a simple bulletin article and a few phone calls, the gifts came pouring in. In February, we held a shower at our home for Marie. She was overwhelmed by the love and generosity from St. Patrick's community. Her entire family came to the shower, and though it was initially uncomfortable for them, they too were shocked by the love and support for their daughter and future grandson. And then a small miracle happened. Marie's mother noticed a painting I had of Our Lady of Fatima, and she asked me where I got it. I told her that I purchased it at a silent auction for a friend who was fighting breast cancer. Her eyes filled with tears. As soon as she told me she had gifted that same picture to the silent auction 15 years prior. We quickly realized that the Blessed Virgin and her son united these two families through this painting. Molly and I are so impressed with the community of St. Patrick. This entire experience has inspired Molly and I to start a nonprofit ministry for women facing a crisis pregnancy called Mary Garden Showers. Without the yes from St. Patrick, Marie's story may have had a different ending.
We are so grateful to Mary and her daughter Molly, and you'll be pleased to know that this is a new ministry that will be occurring monthly here at St. Pat's. So if that is something you might like to become involved in, please let us know. There's one kind of surprising form of outreach that you might not think of as a form of outreach. Happens twice a year, spring, fall. Any thoughts? Garage sale. Okay, how can a garage sale be a form of outreach? It is, and it's one of the finest forms that we've traditionally had here at St. Pat's. It's been going on for 15 years, and people come, as you know, they need pay nothing. If they do not have any money, they can take whatever they need, and no one expects anything of them. And this is something you might be surprised to know, that ministry serves 16 different nonprofit organizations. So, to those of you that have been involved, thank you. For those that continue to be involved, thank you. So, I think it's pretty clear that St. Pat's has a servant's heart. It's evidenced every day, and through the bigger things that happen here at St. Pat's. We do a lot, but we can do more. We are embarking upon what we want to call the Year of Service, and we are inviting families to embrace service this next year. Think about things that you can do with your extended family. There will be many, many, many choices. Pick what your family is committed to and excited about, and do it together. Here's some things that we would love help with. Spot, which has been around for about a year, will be expanding to include transportation and visits and all sorts of things, not not just the home project pieces that have been in place so far. Somebody needs help with cleaning or anything along those lines, that's spot. And that's really a good one for families. Another one is we do need more people to make visits to hospital and those that are homebound and bring the Eucharist. We also need people to go just to visit, just to visit. We are going to embark on a community meal here at St. Pat's. So if cooking is something you're excited about, that's for you. Again, another great one for families. We need a list of people with backgrounds in healthcare and in mental health because we have many people who approach us who really need a lot of help maneuvering the systems that are out there. We need spiritual mentors who can visit, guide, support people as they go through difficult times in their lives. And if you're a green thumb, excellent farmer person that knows how to get things to grow, we need you for the community garden. There are so many ways that you can join us in our mission this year. So where can you find out about them? We are going to have a dedicated space in the bulletin that's called It Takes a Village. And the different opportunities will be listed in there, so please watch for that. But even more important than these opportunities and the many others that will be available is those people who need help. If you know someone who's maybe a little hesitant to ask for help, please let us know. Tell them that St. Pat's is that community that supports, loves, and will do anything they can to help people. So, it takes a village. And outreach is an invitation not only to serve, but to be served. We hope and pray that you will accept that invitation. God bless.
Okay, are we going the right direction with pastoral care and outreach? Yes, please. No. Our second initiative is about our ministries. And, I think it was maybe a year ago that we had the information station that you all see every weekend. And that was our first stab at really lifting up ministries. And now we just want to take it a little further. So to tell you more about it is a guy that grew up in our parish, been around, and now he has just all of this talent around web design and web specialties. So please welcome Matthew Cole.
3 years ago, in 2014, we all came together in the parish community and did something that we had never done before. We had a full parish town hall meeting, right here in this very room. And at that meeting, we discussed, as brothers and sisters in Christ, what we want our vision of the future to be here at St. Patrick. We discussed what we want our parish to look like in the year 2020. And friends, we're already halfway there. In the past 3 years, all of us have been working hard, building and bringing this vision into reality. And that, of course, is what this weekend's Encounter series is all about. Specifically, our progress here at St. Patrick towards the goals of community and unity. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you this weekend the second of 3 major new community initiatives here at St. Patrick, introducing the St. Patrick Online Ministries Search Engine. So this is a new page on our website that you can reach. Just go to the website and it's right in the main menu. And here we have every single ministry that St. Patrick has to offer is in this engine, from the most obscure to the more well-known ones. And you can filter Building up of Carrie's talk, you can go to the outreach section. And we have everything related to Carrie's big job as the pastoral care and outreach. We also have the age groups listed. So if you're a teenager looking for a way to volunteer at St. Patrick, you need some volunteer hours for confirmation, for example, you can go here and hit teens, and you'll see every ministry available, whether it applies to you as something that can serve you if you need it, or something you can volunteer with. You can also click these. Rob, let's choose one of those to click on. Prayer Shawl Ministry. That's one I would read it. So you can go to the ministry page, and on the page, this is the next exciting part. And this really has to do with community, with increasing our communication levels together. So ministry leaders in the coming month will be given access to edit their own ministry pages. Right now, they have a pretty bare bones, just descriptions. And these ministries, by the way, they match those exact same cards at the information booth with those color codes up there. And that's where we got the initial descriptions from. But ministry leaders, you'll be able to post events, announcements, different documents you need for, say, an event or a sign up form. And you'll be able to do this all right here. So people in the ministry, this is your new homepage for the things you're involved in. So I'm going to let you guys explore the rest on your own. Please check this out later. What we're going to do right now is I'm actually going to ask my sister Sarah to come up. If she's here. Let's give it up to Sarah, everyone. We have a fun new tool along with this to help make this even more fun and help you get involved, which is our Ministry Strength Finder. And this is a Strength Finder quiz that you can take on your phone or on your computer, and it will tell you which ministries you want to be in. So Sarah, you wake up at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. What do you do? Oh, microphone troubles.
No, yeah, she's got yours.
Hello.
Hello.
I texted and emailed a friend because, of course, something's got to be up.
If you were in charge of Country Fest, what new thing would you do?
A roller coaster to heaven. Let's take it to new heights.
Which of these Catholic artworks appeals to you the most?
The Last Supper. I like food.
All right, Sarah. If you were helping on a movie set, what would you be doing?
Lights, because they're bright.
Sometimes. Which trip would you do? Would you like to last forever?
Cassette tapes, because I like the good old days.
I don't think you're old enough to remember that. All right, here's a good one. What do you think Father Island does on his day off?
He definitely runs a secret YouTube channel. Check it out.
Check it out. Subscribe. Which biblical character do you want to party with?
Moses.
Nice. All right, Sarah. Based on your answers, you help others to worship. So, when you finish the quiz, it tells you the category you land in. And of course, it's fun. This isn't like a super serious psychological quiz. But then we give you examples of ministries from that search engine. This pulls up the list and shows you 7 examples. And this is random, so even if you get the same answer twice, you'll get a different list of ministries. And so this just helps everyone to explore the ministries we have to offer here. I think we've got between 80 and 90 ministries total. So, and to wrap this up finally, I just want to thank all of you. It's truly an honor to consider myself a part of this community. And we have many very inspiring examples here in this community. So thank you. I'm really excited to see what we keep doing next with St. Patrick. Please welcome back your gracious host, Dan Egan.
Third and final initiative, just as exciting as the other two, I think. But to tell you more about it, as somebody who's been on our staff for the last 12 years, she's somebody that's very talented in serving the church. She has done things from confirmation coordinating to youth ministry and director of religious ed. And then last year, she accepted the position as community life director. So please welcome Linda Abel Thomas.
Thanks, Dan. Again, my name is Linda, and I am so excited to tell you about life groups. This is something that we have been toiling over for about 2 years, and actually the concept is quite simple. It is basically getting together with people of same interests or same circumstances, and getting together. And getting together. Yes, we're gonna get together. So, how many of you have heard of small groups in other denominations? A lot of them have where they get together for like a Bible study or similar interests, and life groups is kind of a spin-off of that. It's an opportunity to meet. It's an opportunity to meet the right people that can help us become our best version. So let's do a little test. How many of you like to play Mexican train? Hooray! So I'm going to start backward. How many of you like gardening? Okay, so look around. How about eating at authentic restaurants? All right, so if you look around, there's a lot of people in here that have same interests as you. And then I also talked about similar circumstances, and you might already have a fun group outside of St. Patrick, but this would give you an opportunity to maybe get together people that are in the same circumstance, like maybe going through divorce or teenager challenges, or maybe even the loss of a parent. The potential of different life groups is infinite, and if you're thinking of it, somebody else probably is too. So there's three, I'm going to show you a quick video of, there's 3 individuals from our parish that actually have been participating in life groups that didn't really realize it. Thanks for taking the time to come in and just sharing with us a little bit about your life group. As we launch our new Parish Initiatives life groups, tell me a little bit about the small group that you're involved in.
It's me and 4 or 5 now other guys. These are men that I went to high school with, and after high school we some of them went to seminary. I went and worked with Net Ministries, and at both those places we experienced great brotherhoods, great fraternal bonds with other men, people that could support us. And when we got back the next summer, a few of them really wanted to start this up just with ourselves.
I was just at church one day and volunteering. I don't even remember what I was volunteering for at that time, but came across you and was invited to go on a ladies' weekend. And the women that you talked to me about, I'd known in passing, and everyone seemed really nice. I thought, well, all right, we'll give it a shot. And it's been 8 years now almost, and it just feels like another small family.
It was 3 of us that actually came from the stewardship committee who decided, like, hey, let's get together. And it was lunch. We started doing lunch, and then it grew to where we have started out with 3 back in 2011, and it grew to 7.
How do you think others could benefit from being part of a life group?
Well, the camaraderie among the men that we get together is unbelievable, because we can, if someone needs help, someone will put a text out, hey, I need help, and the gentlemen are there. I can depend on any one of the guys that we get together with.
And I want to take back the word fraternity. Fraternity has a really bad connotation in our world with colleges. You know, people think of a fraternity, they think of guys that are just like partying and they live in a house and there's always, you know, whatever. But really a fraternity is something very powerful, and the Christian understanding of a fraternity is, you know, it's brotherhood, it's supporting one another. So the best thing about our fraternity is we are with people who can really know us, who can really understand us as people. This fraternity has given me people who are willing to listen and who know, not necessarily know what it's like to go through what I'm going through, but at least know that I'm going through these things.
You see a lot of people just kind of coming and going, but you don't get to know them as well. So this was great because I knew everybody in the group just from around church volunteering in different capacities, but never spent a weekend with them. It's a whole different ballgame, and it just you just get more close. And so I know that people call and ask for prayers or things that they may not have called me for that kind of thing before because I was just a person in passing and now I'm a friend.
Being part of a life group can open up that door for that real fellowship, that real intentional fellowship. And finding those people that can know you and understand you and simply be with you can be a great consolation for yourself, and you can be a great support for other people.
Considering that we've been together 6 years as friends and brothers, I would like to say that all of us have benefited from the relationship we have with each other. We can sit down and have lunch, and we'll be there 2 hours. And that flies by, and you realize that it's like, hey, I got to get back to work.
I think women in general need other women to bounce things off of, just to feel like you're still sane. And this is a different group from like my family. So what I can tell these people and tell stories, it's not the same group. It's a place you can vent or you can just get advice.
So what one word would best describe the benefits that you have received from this life group?
It's a tough one.
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
Probably unconditional, because there's always somebody in the group that you could look to for what needs you have.
I'd say love, true Christian, authentic love. I mean, that's what we really need. That's what we were made for, and that's what we long to give to other people.
Contentment, because when we get together, everybody enjoys everybody else's company, and we really have a good time. It's fun. The adjectives, there's too many to just say one, and those are the two that come to mind right off the top of my head.
And the best part of life groups is that it didn't just affect them, it affects their family and their friends. We are all the many parts of the one body, the church. And the church is this abundance, it's our lifeblood. And I keep getting lost where I'm at. Okay, so the church is our main supply of life. Kind of like Deacon George said, this heavenly banquet that we're invited to, the 5-star restaurant that gives us everything but costs us nothing. I'm sure all of you have small groups outside of St. Patrick's, but we want to challenge you to have at least one life group that flows from the church out into the world. So really quick, I just want to tell you how our life groups is going to work. There's going to be 2 types of groups. We have open groups and closed groups. An open group, an example might be, let's say 3 young couples, they name their group young parents, they get together in each other's houses, they bring their kids, they play cards, but they really want that 4th couple. St. Patrick's can help them find that 4th couple. A closed group is a group that really doesn't need any new members. They kind of like the group that they have, which is totally fine, but we still want to know about the closed group because if it's something that's working for you, it's probably going to work for somebody else. The other thing about life groups, it's going to have a huge website presence. This awesome engine or this new page that Matthew just showed us, our life groups will look very similar to that, where you'll be able to look for life groups by categories, so maybe social, spiritual, that sort of thing. Also, the life groups can have an end date, or they can just go indefinitely. You can be here at St. Patrick's or not. We only ask 2 things. Is one, you got to tell us about your small group so we can help promote it and support you. And the second one is that it is in line with our mission statement, which is to love God and neighbor itself. So we all know our ultimate encounter is when we meet Jesus face to face, when he calls us home. And it's our prayer that you would allow life groups to help you encounter Christ in unlimited small ways here in your St. Patrick's community. Thanks.
Okay, we promised 1 hour, so we just want to do a little exercise at your tables in the center, in a cute little paper cup, are some cards. There's actually 2 cards in there. There's one little business card